It's getting to that time of year again. We have some wildfire smoke to track. I'm 13 News meteorologist Matt Standridge. While much of the eastern U.S. has been cooler, cloudier, and drier, we've had a lot of heat out towards the west and for southern Canada. Now, this is something that we get used to this time of year going into the dry season, but we've had some big fires there in parts of southern Canada. And because of the wind field, a lot of that will be pushed south into the United States, including parts of the Midwest, although I think a lot of it, the thickest smoke, will be kind of along and west of the Mississippi River. So what I have right now is some modeled data of the forecasted wildfire smoke plus the upper level winds. Where is the wind actually taking the smoke? Now we can look at the smoke in two different ways. We're going to do it in number one way. Number one, we just take a look at pretty much the entire atmosphere and we aggregate it all together. So this is how much smoke is in the air above your heads, but it's not necessarily the amount of smoke that you are breathing. That's a different thing. Here in Indiana, the wildfire smoke will not be very concentrated, really at all. But we could have some thick smoke closer to the ground for some of our friends out in the plains and the central plains once it dives off towards the south. So let's kind of play things out. Before I show you the evolution, I want to show you where the low and high pressures are. We've got lower pressure just generally kind of spinning over southeastern Canada and parts of the Great Lakes. It's kept us cooler and cloudier and just kind of drearier for the second half of May. What you don't see, and you'll see in a moment because I'll expand the map, there's higher pressure off towards the west, and how they rotate, they kind of rotate like this. You've got lower pressure with that counterclockwise flow, and then you have higher pressure with clockwise flow. So notice where my arms are going. Notice how all the wind gets funneled this way. Kind of had to do that backwards, face my back to you. North winds funnel that smoke right into the United States. So let's play this out. This is Friday evening. Here's 10 o'clock Eastern time. There's the high pressure, you can see it now. Smoke just gets funneled down the plains. Now we've got a good batch over Indiana, mainly due to compression. We have a front coming on through that's going to clear much of the Midwest out and the southern Great Lakes out for the weekend. Beautiful weekend on the way. But what happens is it also kind of squeeze everything together like a sponge, and you squeeze out all that smoke. So it could get concentrated for a second. So for those who have a little bit of sunset, a little bit of light out there in the evening, you may notice some extra wildfire smoke for your Friday evening. Let's play this out through Friday night into your Saturday morning. Notice how the winds just keep blowing that smoke. The wildfires are still active, but the smoke just, my goodness, just comes right down the plains in a big way, really kind of up and down. It'd be 49 with a lot of that smoke. Notice Indiana in the morning, a little bit less concentrated out towards the west. And as lower pressure tries to kind of keep the fastest winds, the most concentrated funneling winds to the west, we may still have some over Indiana. This is 3:30 Saturday afternoon. What you'll probably notice in the day is once the sun is directly south and then a little bit more in that southwestern sky, that's when you'll probably notice a little bit more haze. And as the sun is setting off in that western and northwestern sky this time of year, you'll probably see a little bit more of an orangey sun, maybe even a little bit red, because of that wildfire smoke that will be in front of the sun as it is setting. So something that we'll be watching out for. The good news here in Indiana is that for those who are sensitive to smoke, shouldn't be a big deal. The concentration is very low. If you are super ultra sensitive, there could be a couple of us that maybe notice a little bit of something. But for the most part, I think you'll notice it more in Illinois and Missouri and Iowa. Now, if there's a slight shift in some of these, we'll have to track that. But we've got smoke. It is that time of year, and the weather pattern is setting up just perfectly to pump it really far south across the central U.S.